Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox, and I am coming to you today with the review for Greenleaf Season 3, Episode 11. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, let's get Zora and her dumbass boyfriend out the way. So, you guys know that she is in Atlanta with Lil El DeBarge. We see him getting ready to go to the studio. She's getting ready to go too, and he's trying to tell her, like, no, you don't need to come. You know, when you come, you look like you bored, and he don't want to bore her anymore. And she says, no, she's fine. She ain't got no problem being at the studio. Okay, so then he thinks and he says, you know what? I got a few dollars. You know, why don't you go and get your nails did? Wouldn't you like that, baby? She's like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I could go. She takes the money from him and he gets a text message, and he kind of smiles at the text message. He's texting the person back. And then he says, hey, baby, get me a bottle out of the refrigerator. Okay. Oh, for the studio? Oh, okay. She go and get the bottle out and she give it to him, and he about to get on to the damn studio. I was just like, how old is Zora? I mean, she didn't see that, that wasn't normal for him anyway. While he's at said studio, we got little Sophia. Now she's at home. Now, she might be God's little bitch and everything. I shouldn't say that. She laying up at the house, and trying to recover and recuperate. However, she's still on social media and she's seeing what's going on. So we see Lil El DeBarge at the studio with some hoe, and they all hooked up and everything. And she was just like, excuse me. So she recorded it and then she sent it on to Zora. Like, have you seen this? I bet you Zora did not see that. All right. So when young El DeBarge gets to the house, she confronts him. I said, girl, please make sure that you got a defense, lined up, because we already know how Lil El DeBarge rolls. She's like, who is this girl? And he was just like, oh, that's just some hoe. And she was just like, why are you at the studio with her? And he says, don't worry about it. She just a bird. That's not nobody he care about. She's the only woman that has his eye. And he kiss on her and he make her feel real good. And next thing you know, Zora forgets about the fact that his ass been at the studio drinking some bottle of drink with some hoe at the child. I just was like, girl, if you don't leave this nigga alone. Why is she with him? Oh my God. I guess we've all been stupid. I ain't been this stupid though. No, actually I have been quite stupid in the past. I just wish that Zora would just get it together. Girl, leave that fool alone. Let's talk about what's going down at the church. Now, Grace is trying to explain the whole thing to Bishop. Wicked City woman Rochelle, and how, it was her and her sister, and, that was Daryl James's daughter, and, how she is probably trying to get back at Bishop. We already know how Basie Skanks felt. The Bishop is still doubting it. And I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with him? I mean, he is really pussy whooped. But then I was thinking to myself, like, it's because of the money. He just cannot see past somebody trying to, this woman was trying to help him and she gave him all of the, gave him this opportunity to make all this money. She was just like, why is that so hard for you to believe? Okay, and he says because she's raised money for the church. She's the reason why he was able to pay off his tax debt. She's even helping Grace. Next thing we know, over at Triumph Church, FBI come busting in. Okay, they got a search warrant. This is a raid. Everybody to the dance floor. Raid. They have a search warrant. You guys already can pretty much tell what this is about. They've been accused of embezzling funds. Now, back over at Calvary, May is talking with Maxine. And Maxine is still trying to convince her to, work this whole thing, get Grace up there. Everybody is going to want to hear her. But May tells her no, okay? And then May lets her in on a little secret and tells her about Lionel and how Lionel and her, when they had their little fling, well, it was supposed to be just a fling, but it turned out to be a bit more. And she ended up getting pregnant around that same time, so she wasn't quite sure if it was Bishop's or Lionel's. It could be either or, okay? So there was no test done up until now. So she tells Maxine this, in the sister girl kind of way, and Maxine was like, oh no, you got to get ahead of this, girl. You about to be a pastor of a big church. You can't have secrets like this floating around. It will come back and bite you. So you need to cleanse yourself in front of everybody and God and let Grace know about what might be coming down the pike. May don't have much time to talk about it. She has an interview. So she is talking to the media and talking about Day with Lady May. The reporter wants to know, is Grace going to be speaking? You know, they had done an article on Grace, and, you know, she's the next woman that's rising in the community, and everybody seems to love her and want to see her. May was like, no, she will not be there. And she was like, well, why not? Because, you know, like I just said, everybody loves her and wants to see her. May was like, well, you know what? Regardless of who is up there on that stage, it will definitely be a woman of God. Okay, so while she's talking to the reporter, out the corner of her eye, she can see that the FBI is there. There are two men along with Corrine, I believe it is. So she ends her interview and she goes over there, and that's right, the same thing that's happening over at Triumph is now happening over at Calvary. There's an FBI raid going on. Okay, they have a search warrant, and you know, Charity, she's freaking out. You know, May tries to calm her down. Grace comes walking up with some of the FBI agents, and she is fussing at the agent because she needs her computer. And Lady May is like, is this because of your case? And Grace was like, no, it's because of y'all and y'all damn tax problems. Lady May is like, what the hell? So she goes in the room, and, you know, Bishop is on the phone frantic, and she was like, get off the phone. And he gets off the phone. He's like, what? I'm trying to handle it. And she was just like, you know what? This is all your damn fault. I done tried to tell you, you gonna run this damn church into the ground. You are not taking me with you. All of your lies, all of your conniving, all of the things that you've done, you know, she's going off on him, and Bishop is just trying to get a handle on things. He's trying to make it happen, you guys. Grace is seeing everybody fall apart, and she makes a call to, I guess, the accountant, and she tells him, like, you know, how soon can you get over here? We got to figure out what the fuck is going on. Mr. Accountant is on his way. So they all sit down at the table. Well, Lady May is not at the table, but it's Bishop, it's Jacob, is Zora Mama, and is Grace. Okay, and the accountant tells them that as far as the records, you know, say Jacob embezzled $200,000 from Triumph Church, and that he gave it to Bishop so that he can use that money to pay off his IRS debt, or at least give the down payment towards it. Okay, so they have, like many of you guys had already said in the comments, they had tied both of the churches together to look like they were stealing money from one church to move it over to this other church. And it just so happens that the churches is a father and son. Okay, so yeah, it's not looking good. Bishop, of course, says no. That money that he got is from a cryptocurrency account, and that was where that money came from. And the accountant is like, there is no such account. You know, Bishop is like, it is. You know, he got his phone. Like, let me pull it up. Okay, well, the app ain't working. Conveniently, it is not happening. There's no record of this cryptocurrency account that he thinks of. Yes, you guys have both been had. You know, Bishop and Jacob get to arguing with each other, and Zora Mama was like, it don't even fucking matter. You guys was both had by these women, and they have played you both. So you both should feel stupid sitting up there with letting these women take advantage of you. Now, at the same time, we see May. She's again talking to Maxine, and Maxine is still trying to convince her, like, girl, you are on the verge of taking over. Okay, we don't need nothing like this going on. Y'all tax problems, you know, this stuff that's going on with Lionel. We need everything to go smooth, and I'm telling you, it is about to happen for you. Okay, anytime things get bad like this, you know, God is about to give you a breakthrough. Right when that happens, she gets a phone call again. It's Lionel. Okay, May doesn't take the call then. She tells them that she will call him back. Maxine says, and have you told Grace anything yet? May says, nope. Grace is sitting down with Darius, and Darius is trying to get the story of what is going on at her parents' church. Okay, and Grace is very offended. Like, you know, you trying to get a story out of this whole thing? And he said, listen, the story is going to come out anyway. You might as well tell it to me. My editor asked me to come and talk to you. You know, we are together. You might as well say it. And, you know, of course, she's just all offended. Like, you just trying to get a story and put it in your thing. But I'm thinking to myself, like, Grace, girl, maybe you do need to give him the story. Okay, because at least you can have some semblance of control over what is said. I mean, if anybody just puts that story out, you know, they can make your parents look as bad or as good as they want to. So at least give it to Darius, since it's gonna happen anyway, and so that he can kind of try to soften the blow. But of course, you know, she ain't feeling like that right now. She's just mad because he wants a story on her damn parents and their church. So she storms out. I said, girl, that wasn't the best idea. Then we see Charity. She goes up to one of the agents and asks, can she talk to him in private? And then she goes and tells him how, one of the computers that they took, she really needs it back because there are inappropriate pictures of her on there. And I'm thinking to myself, like, inappropriate? First of all, why would your pictures of inappropriacy that's not a word. But why would your pictures be on your mama's computer anyway? So I'm listening to her talk and I'm thinking to myself, like, what is she talking about? The guy is just like listening, and she says, I wouldn't want a man of, like you to see these pictures. And he says, well, I'll talk to my boss and see what I can do. Jacob calls Tasha the skank. He is really trying to get a handle on this $200,000 that supposedly he done gave to his daddy. He gets her on the phone and he's just saying, like, he needs her to get him out of this jam. He is begging her. Basie is sitting next to her, so of course she can't speak freely. He doesn't know that. So she's saying she doesn't know anything about no $200,000, and he's just like, please, you have to say something. Like, I really need you to clear this. And again, because Basie is sitting right there, she's just like, I don't know anything. And then we see Jacob and Zora Mama is in the background, and she says, tell him you love her. Okay, tell her you love her. And Jacob is just like no, I didn't never say I loved the girl. But she's just like, tell her. And so he gets on the phone and he says, you know what, Tasha, I love you. I said, oh, Jacob, you about to get Tasha the skank killed. Because Basie is sitting right there and Wicked City woman Rochelle is sitting across from her, and she said, I told you. But that ain't even the case. Jacob, now I do believe Jacob does care about Tasha the skank, probably more than he should, but I don't believe that he loves her at all. But Basie Skanks had heard that, and no matter what Basie Skanks been out there doing, he ain't expected his wife to be falling in love with a Greenleaf of all things. So that Basie Skanks is mad. Now, Wicked City woman, she take it on back to the church like everything is okay. And Grace sees her and tries to stop her before she goes in her office. She says, excuse me, I know who you are. I know you Daryl James's daughter. I know you Basie Skank's sister. And she was just like, and okay, what? And she was like, so you here at this church trying to bring my damn daddy and mama down. I know that cryptocurrency shit was fake. And Wicked City woman Rochelle was like, it was not fake. I don't know what you're talking about. You sitting up here confronting me, and your daddy and I, we was in the bed together yesterday. We declared our love to each other, and at no time did the man tell me all this was going on. I said, oh, Bishop, now I know good damn well you ain't fuck Wicked City woman Rochelle. Now, they didn't show that. Many of you guys said that in my comments, but I was just like, no, they ain't fucked. But she sure did tell Grace that she did. Okay, she was like, listen, Grace. Okay, since Grace got all these fucking problems, she was like, I know that I could never be a mother to you, but possibly I could be a sister. Okay, we could be best good girlfriends. Like, you out here tripping and everything just because I'm getting with your daddy. I'm not trying to mess up nothing around here. I'm trying to become part of the family. Child, that Grace is sitting there looking like, did my daddy really knock the boots with Wicked City woman Rochelle? I was like, no, I just can't believe it. Now, of course, with this whole tax thing going on, everybody is in motion. Connie already wanted to put Bishop and Lady Mae out and give it to Grace. So she's over there and she's talking to Bishop and she's telling him that it's time for them to move on. And Bishop was like, I'll do no such thing. And she was just like, your opinion, it really don't even matter at this point. In layman's terms, they about to put the Bishop out. Now, back at Tasha the Skank's house, like I told you, she got problems, okay? Basie was like, I've been out here, I've been risking my life trying to pay this debt, and you out here falling in love with a fucking Greenleaf. She was just like, you know what, nothing happened. I promise you nothing happened. But even if something did, I thought you was dead. He was like, I wasn't dead. I was out there trying to take care of my debt so that I could come back to you. Now, because all this has happened, Basie don't feel like he can trust her anymore, and he don't think he ever will. So, it's bad news for old Tasha the Skank. Now, when he gets a phone call, he's saying to whoever it is on the other side that, the plan is all going smoothly and they about to be home free. Okay, so I don't know exactly what that means, but I guess Basie does. Now, we sit back down with the accountant. He's showing him the paperwork about this unknown account that Jacob signed off on. Jacob is looking at it and he was just like, Yeah, I did sign it. That's my signature. I don't know when I signed it. I don't know, why I signed it, but yeah, I did sign it. Okay, well, that makes it even worse. Now we can't even say it was forgery. Zora Mama says, well, we're all done. Good thing I didn't quit my damn good job at the school, because we about to be out of business in a minute. While she fussing at him, Tasha the Skank calls and says that she wants to meet, and she gives him a time and a location, and he says, okay, Tasha the Skank says she's scared. And he says, don't worry about it. Everything is going to be okay. Okay. And when he gets off the phone, Zora Mama's looking and she says, oh, you care about her, huh? And he was like, no, I really don't. She was like, yeah, I can tell you do. He was like, no, I don't. She was like, yeah, you do. Okay. Ladies, we know our men. I don't think he's in love, but yeah, he does care about Tasha the Skank. Now, I guess Lady May had then worked up her nerve and she was about to tell Grace about, her daddy, Lionel. Grace is actually going around the church and people are telling her, like, Lady May is looking for her. She's like, I bet you she is. Lady May is in the church and she's gearing up to tell. May makes a call to Lionel. I guess they're going to do it together. And Aaron answers the phone and tells her that his father has died. Okay, he had a bad reaction to some medication. And, Lionel's dead. Okay, saved by the bullet. All right, Lady May is on the phone like, oh, okay, well, okay. So when she gets on the phone with Aaron, then here comes Grace, like, Mama, you was looking for me. And she was just like, I just wanted to apologize for something. It had nothing to do with nothing. Okay, Grace was like, that's what you wanted me to come down here for? She said, yeah, just to say I'm sorry. Okay, and Grace was like, okay, all right. But Lady May is looking around like, ooh wee. Almost had my whole card pulled, but you know what? God is always working. She ain't had to tell that Grace's father might be Lionel. Are you sure about that? Because Aaron did have his last conversation with his father, and his father probably did tell Aaron. Now, Grace, since she's been sent away from her mama, she goes and sits down with Bishop. She goes up to her father and she says, the truth. And he says, always, and she says, did you sleep with Wicked City woman Rochelle? And he says, no! Where did you get that from? And she said, from your damn girl. She come telling us that she fell in love. Y'all was in the bed and declared love for each other and y'all had sex and all that. He was just like, what the fuck? I didn't got myself involved with, So he started walking out the door and she was just like, where are you going? He was like, to set everything straight. I said, oh, Bishop, you done hooked up with a fool this time. Ooh, ain't nothing like learning from some old crazy woman. Now, Maxine is at the church and she's singing, getting prepared for a day with Lady May. And then afterwards, she's talking to Lady May and she asked her, did she tell Grace? And Lady May was like, funny thing you should ask. Okay, Lionel ended up dying. So now I ain't got to say nothing. And Maxine was like, oh, no, you still have to say something. Okay, because you can't have these kind of secrets. I'm telling you, they will rear their ugly head at the most inopportune times. Okay, so you still got to cleanse yourself. You still got to tell God. I said, see what happened when you tell your girls too much? Maxine is going to end up pressuring her to tell Grace what done happened when you wouldn't have had to deal with that stress in your life if you would have just never said nothing. Okay, even though, it didn't work out that way for old Lady May anyway. But, Maxine was like, no, you still got to say something. Now, the man comes and tells Charity that, he was able to get the computer. We gonna sit down and go through it together and see what's on here. And she was like, oh, you gonna see it too? And he was like, yeah. And she was like, okay, there's no naked pictures on there. He says, yeah, I know there aren't. Okay. She wants to just get Lady May's sermon off of there, and her PowerPoint picture, set up for the day with Lady May. Fine, whatever. She goes and saves the day by taking all of that to Lady May, and Lady May is a little bit happier. But she ain't gonna be happy for long, because we see that Aaron, he comes to the church and he goes to Grace. Grace gives him a hug, like, I heard about your father, I'm so sorry. And he says, yes, so they sit down and she's trying to be supportive of him. And she's saying, that this must be hard for you. And he says, you can't believe how much it is. And then, I was just like, oh, Aaron is about to tell Grace. I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, you just go straight from your daddy and go straight to Grace with everything that's going on. Okay, that damn messy ass Aaron. Aaron a little messy too. Then we see Jacob. He goes to meet Tasha the Skank at the location, but it ain't Tasha the Skank. My battery is about to die, so that's why it's looking like this. It ain't Tasha the Skank. It's actually Basie. All right, so now Jacob is surprised to see him like, where's Tasha the Skank? And he was like, how about we let the women worry about the women and we worry about the men, okay? What happened with you and my wife? Jacob says nothing happened. And he says, well, you said that you loved her. And Jacob says, well, anything that's happened is my fault. But it was nothing like that, okay? It was just one kiss. Basie Skanks don't believe it. You know, he said, it's just one, huh? Well, I guess I could thank you for your honesty. That seems to be more than I can get out of Tasha the Skank. I said, now, where is Tasha the Skank? Because as far as we knew, Basie ain't knew about this damn meeting. So then I'm just like, what y'all done did to old girl? Jacob keeps trying to say it was nothing, and Basie Skank says, one man's nothing is another man's everything. Okay, so you ain't about to get off that easy, bruh. Okay, even if you just kissed her, Basie Skank's got a problem with old Jacob. Now, Bishop goes and busts in on Rochelle, okay, the virtuous woman that he called her to talking to Grace. I said, Bishop, you is so sprung. She was just like, hey, Bishop, you know, I'm so glad to see you. And he was just like, did you tell Grace that we slept together? And she was just like, yes, because we did. Y'all, the crazy light had been flicked on. I was just like, oh. And he was just like, no such thing happened. And she was just like, of course it did. Now, what is this? Like some old man, you know, he can't quite remember what's going on. Of course we did have sex. Like, we was in the bed together. We was bumping it. We was bumping and grinding. She's like, listen, I understand. Like, you know, I am Daryl James' daughter. Okay, but that don't mean nothing. Okay, I understand that the church burned down. And she don't blame Bishop for that, you know. And it's all good. And she just kind of talking like she in La La Land. And he was just like, oh, okay, I see what's happening here. Okay, you got me, but you won't get away with it. Bishop walks out of the door after he listens to her craziness talk, and she looks over her shoulder and she says, bitch, I already did. I was like, bitch, let me tell you, that Wicked City woman Rochelle is an evil some of the other, but that Bishop, the way he been carrying the fuck on, he deserved it. Oh, Bishop. Oh, you was molded. Scratch that neck. Hey, I like the way you scratch. And then lastly, Grace goes to confront May. Lady May is, you know, relieved. She ain't got to worry about having to tell her daughter anything, or does she? Grace tells her how Aaron came to see her. You know, Lady May kind of slows up her walk a little bit. She ain't quite so sure no more. Finally, Grace says, was Lionel my father? And Lady May says, I don't know. And she walk off. I said, oh! Lady May is something else. And Grace just look at her and look over at her sermon and look back over her shoulder like, I know this lady has like, really? I said, ooh, Grace, are you about to do something at the day with Lady May? What's fixing to happen? Child. Oh, wait till Bishop find out that Lionel might be the damn baby's father. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So good. So good. So good. All right, Rockstars, let me get off of here. I done been out here way too long. Okay, so make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Rockstars. Bye.